Hi friends, welcome to the Unit 5 Day 1 notes. Today we're going to be talking about proportions, and we're going to solve proportions and then also simplify ratios, and then we're going to get into what does it mean to be a geometric mean. So whenever we talk about proportions, this is something that a lot of students really hone in on. Proportions are something that you'll remember and you hold on to, and this is something that you do a lot, again, in the real world. Proportions is essentially when you say that two ratios or fractions are equivalent. And so proportion then becomes an equation. So this is an equation which states two ratios are equivalent or equal. And so then we have this idea where we then cross multiply. So if we have in a proportion, if this is true, then what we end up doing is we cross multiply. We say that A times D and B times C then are equivalent to one another. So you're multiplying this and setting it equal to this. So here now we're going to solve each proportion. So we're cross multiplying. We're going to take 4 times 15 and set that equal to 5 times x. 4 times 15 is 60. Set that equal to 5x, and then you divide by 5 on both sides. So that gets 12 equals x, or x equals 12. Both of those are equivalent. So that's part A. Part B, same thing, cross multiply. 5 times y equals 8 times 20. So 5 times y, 5y, 8 times 20 is 160. Divide both sides by 5, we get y equals 32. Now it gets a little bit tricky because we have z plus 2. Whenever you have an operation, a plus or a minus in a fraction, there's actually what I call the ninja parentheses. They're ninjas because you can't see them. They're actually a really good ninja. So if you think about that in that context, then when you multiply these across, so I'm going to take 12 times, and then I have to put the z plus 2 in parentheses because we found the ninja. And that just keeps everything equivalent when we multiply. Because now we have to distribute the 12 times z, 12 times 2. So that's going to be 12z plus 12 times 2 is 24. Plus 4 times 27, which is 108. It's always good to double check to make sure that you are correct. And then subtract 24 on both sides. That's going to give me 12z over here. And then that is 84. Then divide both sides by 12, and you get z equals 7. A lot of students, if you get a decimal or a fraction, especially on your homework, you tend to be a little bit wary because we haven't done any in the examples, but that's okay. If you get a decimal or a fraction on your homework, it's fine. If you get one that looks like it's a non-terminating decimal or a fraction, double check your work, make sure it's good. But generally something like this, read z equals 7. Even if you got 7 halves or 7.5, that's okay too. Same thing here. We got the ninja parentheses going on. So 3 times parentheses x minus 6 equals x times 1. So again, distribute. That's going to be 3x minus 18 equals x. Now a lot of students at this point tend to want to subtract the 3x, and I don't like messing with negatives. So instead, I'm going to subtract x, because that's the smaller of the two coefficients with that variable. This gives me 2x minus 18. And then a lot of students get stuck on what to do here. Well, I'll just leave it as 0. X minus x, you're left with nothing. Add 18 on both sides. You get 2x equals 18. I am running out of room. Divide by 2 on both sides, and you get x equals 9. You can always plug in or substitute these values back in to see if you get a true equation. It's a good way to check to make sure they do them right. Here, same idea. So 3, and then got 2 sets here. So this is going to be 3 times m plus 1 equals 2 times m plus 5. So that's going to be 3m plus 3 equals 2m plus 10. Minus 2m on both sides, and I get m plus 3 equals 10. Minus 3, and I get m equals 7. Good there. And then I have my k's here. So again, going to distribute, cross multiply and then distribute. So 2 times parentheses 3k minus 4 equals 5 times k minus 1. So distribute. Let's see, that's 6k minus 8 equals 5k minus 5. Minus 5k from both sides gives me k minus 8 equals negative 5. Don't forget to bring down the negative 5. Add 8, and you get k equals 3. So now we're going to be simplifying these ratios. We're writing them in simplest form. Essentially what we're doing is we're substituting the values in. So whatever you see for x, y, and z, you're substituting that in to get your final answer. So for here, when we simplify, we're going to get 2 times 6 plus 3 divided by 3. So again, do order of operations. We're going to do 2 times 6 first, so that's 12 plus 3 over 3. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 divided by 3 is 5. It says it's a ratio, so it's actually going to be 5 to 1. So just note, because it says it's a ratio, I'm actually going to leave that 1 in the denominator because it's 5 of one part to 1 of another part. So here for part B, 4 times 2 minus 3 divided by 6. Same idea here, so we're going to do 8 minus 3 over 6. 8 minus 3 is 5. Put the equal signs here. 5, 6. There we go. And that does not simplify anymore, so we're done with that one. And then here, z is 2 plus 2 times y, which is 3, all over 2 times x, which is 6, minus 4. Simplify what you multiply first. So this is going to be 2 plus 6 over 12 minus 4. Now we simplify the numerator and the denominator. So this is 8 over 8, which reduces to 1 over 1. And I'm going to leave it as 1 over 1, again, because of the ratio. Again, normally you would divide, and you would get 1 and just 1, but we leave it as that. We're going to cover geometric mean here in this video. The geometric mean is a little bit different. When you do the geometric mean, you're cross-multiplying. So we're cross-multiplying a times b, and it equals x times x. So when you do that, you end up with x times x, so x times x equaling a times b. So now if I take x times x, a lot of students get confused on what that is. That's x squared. So then you're left with ab. A geometric mean is always going to be positive. So we take the square root on both sides, and we get x equals the square root of a times b. Now, in your calculator, if you do that, you might end up with a, so if you get a decimal, just go ahead and round to 2 decimal points unless the directions say otherwise. So this one says find the geometric mean of these two numbers. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take x equals, so if this is a and this is b, we're just going to use our formula here. So we're just going to use that to give us the square root of 12 times 27. So I'm going to do 12 times 27 first. 12 times 27 is 324. And so then I just check in my calculator, what's the square root of 324? And you get x equals 18. If you're unsure of where to find the square root key in your calculator, please reach out to your instructor. You should be using calculators that you're already familiar with, and you have that, so you should know where to find it. Note that if you're using your phone, because you are a rebel like that, just make sure that you have the number in first before you hit square root. You can't do it square root and then the number. 18 and 54, so square root of 18 times 54. 18 times 54 is 972. So if I take the square root of that, we get approximately, so you see me switch my symbols here, 31.18. Again, I'm rounding the nearest hundredth. That's 2 decimal places. Then for this last one, 16 times 18. So I'm going to take the square root of 16 times 18. So that's the square root of 288, which is approximately equal to, again using my approximately equal to symbols, and that's 16.97. All right. Thank you for joining me in this video, friends. I hope you have a wonderful day.